Hi there, I am Jim King, and this is
Mike Gerhart,
and we are volunteers for the state's DNR OHV Trail Guide Program. We're out here in lovely 5 Mile Pass, the south end of 5 Mile Pass, on this blustery 14-degree day. And interestingly enough, we're actually seeing quite a few people out here on the trails with campers and quads and even some snowmobiles. So what we wanted to talk to you briefly about today, though, is OHV safety. Mike and I have ridden most of the state, top to bottom, all the way into the Las Vegas area, and I can tell you we've seen some really interesting stuff as we're out and about riding and helping folks out and generally educating the public about OHV safety. So a few examples, Mike?
Well, we've seen a little bit of everything. We've seen bikini riders, we've seen kids without helmets.
Seen an entire family of 5 on a single quad with no helmets.
That was pretty remarkable.
So pickup trucks with flat tires out in the middle of nowhere in the San Rafael swell, gone through their spare already, so we stopped and helped those folks out. So anyway, we see a lot of what we would consider just bad ideas for riding any time of year.
And unpreparedness.
Yeah, it's a lot of people go out unprepared. No tire plugs, no air compressor, no food, no extra fuel, and more importantly, no maps or no idea of where they're at. So folks lost in the middle of nowhere, especially out in San Rafael swell, where it's not too hard to get yourself turned around and disoriented. So a couple of suggestions we would like to make.
We like to carry extra fuel. Like I said, like he mentioned, we take tire patching equipment, we take air compressors, we take food, we take maps.
And of course,
we're prepared.
Helmets, always. Even if you're in a side-by-side, roll cages do not stop your skull bucket from getting crushed. So helmets always advised, regardless of the vehicle that you're in. Gloves, boots. I've seen lots of flip-flops out on the trail, and trust me, if you've got a situation where your machine's going to throw you off and you're in flip-flops, guess what's going to happen to those feet? So good footwear, good eye protection, gloves, and then of course we mentioned already maps. Know where you're going, know what the distance capability of your machine is. You know, I personally have been in a situation out here in the Little Moab 5 Mile Pass area a couple of years ago where the fuel pump on my machine decided to conk out in the middle of winter in a snowstorm. Let me tell you, you're not going to do much about that other than hike out, and you better know where you're at if you've got to hike out. And then, of course, always let somebody know where you're going, where you're approximately going to be. In the event that you do have a machine malfunction or something happens, at least folks are going to know the general whereabouts of where you're located. Other guidance?
Well, I think it'd be best to just kind of show you how we're set up. I think you won't see very many people are prepared as we are.
Mike's going to show the standard gear that we come out with. We'll note the first thing, of course, is the helmet and proper protection. Boots are a necessity. Flip-flops aren't going to cut it, ladies. It might be comfortable, but trust me, if you roll that machine or something happens, you get thrown off, those flip-flops aren't going to help you a whole lot. So what else, Mike? What else are we carrying out with us?
We got a spot unit here. This keeps our loved ones informed of where we're at on the trails. Just a nice thing to have. Plus, it can get you rescued should you break down. Of course, we all have GPSs, shovels. Our machines are set up with winches. Jim's has a tiger tail unit down here. It's just an automatic retrieval cable. Some of the stuff I carry in my front bin here, these are tire plugs, a small air compressor, doesn't take much, toe straps, tree savers. We carry lots of tire plugs, hundreds.
You can never have enough tire plugs.
I've needed upwards of 10 to plug one hole, but you got to do what you got to do to get out. So,
note the extra fuel. Mike and I always go out with extra fuel. He's got the red tank here up front, which is, what is that, 5 gallons?
5 gallons.
I've got mine's kind of camouflage covered up under here, but I've got a 4-gallon gas can that we always keep full. And of late, now that it's possible, we always go with ethanol-free fuel.
I carry a radio and a GPS unit. satellite locator just like his. Lots of goodies in here. Survival gear, there's blankets, there's tarps, extra water. In fact, I have a stove in here right now cooking us some burritos for a little bit later. A little 12 volter. Of course, I have a shovel. My machine has dual winches. It has a winch on the back and a winch on the front. You just never know which way you gotta pull. We just like to be prepared.
All right, so you can see, even though it's a cold January 1st, we're out here enjoying the terrain. I mean, look at this scenery. Spectacular. And because we're on the far south side of 5 Mile Pass, we, for the most part, have this area to ourselves. Most folks tend to stay kind of in the north end or near staging of 5 Mile Pass. But whatever you do, enjoy the trails and be safe out there, and always wear proper protection.